正解决巴勒斯坦问题，中东就没有持久的和平稳定。
While most of the Western world remains unwavering in its support of Israel, other global powers are speaking up in favor of Palestine's Gaza. Last month, the Arab Islamic Summit in Saudi Arabia announced that a ministerial committee would be dispatched to strengthen international support of a ceasefire. The committee's first stop, China. Ascending to the presidency of the UN Security Council, China has put forward a 5-point proposal for a ceasefire and a political solution for Palestine. But at the same time, China and Israel's strong economic ties are affecting diplomacy, with trade between the two surpassing $24 billion in 2022. So how does China view Palestine and Israel, and could Beijing bolster efforts for Palestinian statehood? China has a long history of supporting the establishment of a Palestinian state, with Mao Zedong, the chairman of the Communist Party of China, considering Israel an outpost of American imperialism. In 1965, a delegation from the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or PLO, was received in Beijing with a state welcome rally of 10,000 people. A year later, China was the first non-Arab country to officially recognize May 15th as Nakba Day, in solidarity with the Palestinians who were forcibly expelled from their land and homes. China even armed the Palestinian Liberation Army prior to the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, due to its ideological stance of supporting revolutions and liberation movements that did not conflict with Beijing's national interest. But while it maintained ties with the Palestinians and supported the end of the occupation, the relationship was deprioritized after the war amid Palestinian factionalism and the political mediation of the United States. Despite its support for the Palestinian people, China has moved to deepen its ties with Israel since establishing full diplomatic relations in 1992. China's relationship with Israel has largely been based on economic interests. China has extensive investments in Israel, attracted by its position as a technology hub. The region is also important for President Xi Jinping's massive Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, aimed at upgrading world trade routes. China has invested in more BRI projects in Israel than in any other regional country, although Israel has not even formally signed on to the initiative. The two countries also have strong military ties. After Russia, Israel is China's largest military cooperation partner. However, Beijing has also become more distrustful of Tel Aviv after pressure from Washington led Israel to tighten government oversight on Chinese investments in 2022. As China imports most of its oil from the Middle East, the sentiments of neighbouring Arab states can also not be ignored. Wary of possible changes in oil prices, China's rhetoric against the assault on Gaza has strengthened compared to previous wars by Israel, in an effort to balance its interests on both sides. China is also cautious of how the situation could escalate and has even deployed 6 warships to the Gulf. The Arab Islamic Committee for Gaza, choosing China as their first destination for an official visit, was a clear indication that Western countries are no longer considered fair brokers on the Israeli-Palestinian issue. China, by contrast, has championed a strategy of underdog diplomacy and anti-Western neutrality. It remains largely neutral in public statements, but stops short of condemning any country or force that challenges Western dominance on the global stage, instead wanting to be seen as an ally of the side that is being ostracized by the West. Expanding its economic influence has also allowed China to offer itself as an alternative to the United States when it comes to mediating. In 2023, China successfully brokered a deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran to restore relations between the two countries, after decades of enmity and a formal cutting of ties in 2016. However, with China's shift from ideology to economic prowess in recent decades, it seems unwilling to go further than calling for a resolution and sending aid to the Palestinians. China's support for Palestine thus far has followed the wave of international public opinion that is strengthening against Israel, and provides a chance for Beijing to score points against Washington amid rising tensions between the two superpowers. But its non-interventionist approach and lack of direct history in the region means it is unable to significantly influence events on the ground without taking further action. As Israel's deadly attacks on the Palestinians continue, will China take a stronger stand for Gaza?